I'm recording. So, lying on your backs, getting in a comfortable propped or not position. Knees can be bent, legs don't have to be extended. Knees bent is a little softer on your back if that feels better for you to start out. Just using the breath to settle in. Sighing the breath out, parting the lips if that helps. Allowing the body to settle onto the earth. Aware of the inhales and exhales. Maybe noticing the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. Not judging it or changing it, but just noticing that sometimes the inhale's a little longer or shorter than the exhale. And using those exhales to soften, to let go. As we release the breath, we release any tension or gripping that we're aware of, with the hope that we become more aware throughout the practice, and then use the breath to let go. With the intention of bringing the mind, the body, and the spirit back into balance. That a relaxed body is an open mind, an open heart leads to wise effort. In through the nose, out through the nose, if possible. Breathing into the space below, in the back of the heart and the front of the heart. Maybe noticing the back body expanding into the earth and out to the side. And then softly releasing away with the exhale. 2 more rounds of breath like this, just centering, coming to your practice. And then acknowledging the intention for practicing today. What brought you here? What is your hope for your mind, your body, your spirit? Shortening that to a word or a phrase. And placing it in an I am statement. Repeating that softly to yourself a few times as if it were true and already happening. And with your next inhale, maybe floating the arms alongside the ears or in that general direction, softening the arms and the shoulder sockets, and just noticing any sensation in the body. What do you notice? Not judging or expecting anything. Smooth out the breath. With your next exhale, allow the arms to float gently alongside the hips. Inhale. Fill the heart space. Exhale, draw one knee in for a hug. Left knee, I'll say, in for a hug. Sorry, then we'll all be on the same page. Soften through the shoulders and move that leg around in the hip socket so the body rests on the earth, and just rocking or making some small circles in the hip socket and reversing those circles, or rocking in the opposite direction. If you're going forward, back, go side to side. And then coming to stillness there. Inhale fully, exhale, gather the belly. Maybe you have space to allow the thigh to come a little closer, to offer it, to hug a little closer to the belly. No efforting, no strain in the shoulders, the jaw, the neck. Breathing into the back and side body. With your next exhale, gather the belly, release the bind, and inhale, extend the heels straight up to the ceiling. Rooting the sacrum to the earth. There's a natural curve in the lower back, so we're not taking out that curve. And extending the heel up to the ceiling, we find space in that hip socket and make some circles through the ankle. Slow, mindful, as if you're moving in honey, and reverse those circles. And find stillness there and fan the toes out and curl them in. And then flexing the foot with your exhale, the knee draws in towards the chest, thigh to belly. Inhale, extend it up to the ceiling. Notice what you feel in the back of the knee, not forcing that knee straight, just meeting your body wherever it is. One more round like this. And then bending that knee and floating that foot to the earth. So you have a bent knee. And exhaling, drawing that right knee in for a hug. And then moving that knee in circles, side to side, forward, back, as you anchor the back body long on the earth, keeping that natural curve in the lower back. Reverse the circles if you're making circles. And then come into stillness there. Notice any tension in the shoulders. Are the shoulders resting on the earth? If you're clasping over the shin, is that too much? Maybe coming back of the thigh. With your next exhale, gather the belly. Maybe there's space for that thigh to come a little closer, maybe not. Please honor, don't force anything. Notice what you notice in the right side body. Maybe this side's a little different. With your exhale, release that bind and inhale, extend the legs straight up to the ceiling. Reaching into the heel as you root the hips to the earth, making some circles through the ankle, soft back of the knee, one direction and then the other. And coming to stillness and fanning the toes out and curling them in. And then extending into the heel with a flexed foot. With your exhale, thigh to belly, knee to chest. With your inhale, slow reaching up to the ceiling. So 2 more rounds like this with your breath, inhaling and exhaling and exploring the hips, the knees, the spine, long on the earth. Shoulders soft, jaw released. And the next time you exhale, bend the knee, float that foot to the earth, walk the feet the width of the mat. Let both knees fall over to the right. Inhale up to center. If you flex your feet, you might find you have more room to float side to side. Just notice what feels right for you. Allowing gravity to act on the body, not forcing the knees to the earth. Maybe pausing in that exhale for a round of breath as the knees come over to the side, come back up to center, and pause for a round of breath in the opposite side. Just noticing, settling, letting go, coming back up to center, allowing the knees to fall together with the feet wide. So the knees naturally rest together, you're not hugging them. And then find the breath. Smooth it out. Sigh it out if that helps. Throughout the practice, we use the breath to guide us. Notice if the breath becomes ragged or uneven, and maybe we take a different pose or don't go as far. Nice. With your next inhale, walk the knees over the ankles and the feet back to hips distance, about the length of a dollar bill. Extending the left leg straight out onto the floor as you reach into the heel. And then inhaling the right arm alongside your ear. Reaching right fingertips, left heel. Exhaling, knee bends, foot to the earth. Right arm floats down. Inhaling, right leg extends, reach into the heel. And extending the left arm alongside your ear. Nice. Exhaling that right foot back to the earth. Couple of rounds of breath here. Extending both legs straight out onto the floor in front of you. And inhaling the arms up overhead, and overhead is a relative cue. You don't have to have the ears hugging, the arms hugging to the ears. They can be out more and wide. The elbows can be bent. What feels right for your shoulders? So first, just exploring what does arms overhead look like for you? What feels good? To have just the right amount of effort with a balance of ease. With your next exhale, the right knee and then the left knee come in and the palms tap the knees. With your inhale, the legs extend up to the ceiling, the arms float up overhead. Nice. With your exhale, the arms float to either side of the hips. With your inhale, the legs float away from each other, feet flexed. With your exhale, they come back to center. Inhale, legs open. Exhale, hugging back to center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hug those knees in. And inhale, let one foot and then the other come to the earth and extend out onto the floor in front of you. Pause there. Breathe. Notice what you notice. Do you feel any sensation in the lower back, or did you while you were doing the vinyasa, the simple flow? Maybe you need to experiment with something different. Bringing one leg and then the other, or one knee and then the other in, with the belly hugging towards the earth, stabilizes and gives support. Moving both legs at the same time is more effort into the lower back. So if you have a lower back issue, just be aware of that. If you'd like to challenge yourself and your back is secure, resting on the earth with the belly engaged, you can try both legs, both knees, both legs. Please honor your body and yeah, take any modifications that you need. So with your next inhale, the arms extend up overhead. With your exhale, the knees come in one at a time or both together and the palms rest on the knees. With your inhale, the legs extend up, the arms extend up, maybe to the ceiling, not overhead. With your exhale, the arms float to the earth, either side of the hips. With your inhale, the legs come away from each other, keeping the feet flexed. With your exhale, they hug back to center. Inhaling away from each other. Exhaling center. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, knees float in. And inhaling to let the feet come to the earth and slide out in front of you, arms resting alongside the hips. For a few rounds of breath here, pause and maybe see the flow in your mind's eye. And maybe you'll rest here with the breath and just see the flow in your mind. Maybe you'll go through it one more time, modifying or finding a variation that works for you, honoring your body, so that you always have a slight curve in the lower back. You're not forcing out that curve, especially when you're hugging the knees in, so that you're aware of the lower ribs, the front ribs, and not allowing them to pop up to the ceiling, but keeping a nice long straight spine with support and integrity in the core body. This is working the core as well as the mind-body connection. And maybe you notice when you are working and moving with the breath, you don't have space for the thoughts to tug at you. So with your next inhale, allow the arms to float up overhead. With your exhale, both knees or one and then the other float over the hips and the palms tap the knees. With your inhale, the legs extend up to the ceiling, arms up overhead if that feels right, or just up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms down to the side. Inhale, legs away from each other any amount. Exhale, they come back to center. Inhale, legs apart. Exhale, legs together. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees in for a hug and allow them to settle onto the earth, legs extending, arms resting. Pausing here to smooth out the breath, to revisit the flow in your mind's eye. Breathing into the heart space. Noticing what you notice without any judgment. Bending one knee and then the other to place the feet softly onto the earth, and then rolling over to one side or the other. Pausing here with using your arm as a pillow. If your elbow's bent, maybe extending the arm that your head is resting on. If your arm is straight, maybe bending the elbow. Find a way that is a little, feels a little better. That allows the shoulder to soften and the head to rest easy. And then bring the focus to the breath, allowing it to fill the front and back of the heart space. Shoulders stacked, top arm is in front of you, maybe palm resting on the earth to help with balance. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked. Breath moves into or onto filling the entire back body. As the ribs expand, the muscles soften, open, allow the lungs to fill completely. And exhale, the breath is gently hugged out. We're just bringing awareness to what the body does all day long without our thinking of it or noticing. To breathe just a little deeper, to exhale just a little more fully, to strengthen the diaphragm, to use the breath to restore. The breath that's always there throughout the day to bring you back, to bring you into a state of peace and balance. 2 more rounds like this. And then bringing yourself over and onto slowly, mindfully, all fours. Move with intention. Supporting the body where you need to, placing a blanket under the knees if that helps. Nice. So we're on all fours with the wrist creases just in front of the shoulders so that there's less pressure on them, so that the pads of the fingers rest on the earth. So the shoulders slide down the back away from the ears, and then as we root into the palms of the hands, the muscles in the shoulder girdle become active and keep us from hanging on those shoulders. Knees are under hips, and we can start finding fluidity in the back body with our cat and cow, moving with a wave of awareness from the tip of the tailbone as it tucks towards the earth, as the spine lengthens, opens towards the ceiling, maybe dropping the crown of the head, maybe not. With your inhale, tailbone lifts, arms stay straight, heart extends away from the belly, maybe lift the gaze gently so we're not efforting into the back of the neck. Finding your flow with your breath guiding you into your cat. Think Halloween. And your cow. Not sure how they come up with that image. Using the breath to guide you. Moving slowly as if you were in outer space so that you can bring awareness to each moment, to each movement. Moving with intention so that you keep the foundation strong, the support that you need, so that you're not hanging on the shoulders, but just isolating the movement to the back body as the hips roll over the femur bones. Moving from the tip of the tailbone, holding the gaze. Working one vertebra at a time, moving the head last. Maybe one more round like this. And then finding a neutral spine and coming to stand up on your knees. Maybe you need to adjust your blanket so that it comes under your ankles also, and the tops of the feet can rest easily on the earth. Just noticing, sometimes even rolling the end of the blanket underneath the ankles feels good so that there's some support. Everybody's different. Nice. So the hips are over the knees, so the shoulders are over the hips and the ears are in alignment with the shoulders, and we're aware of the core body supporting the back. So this is a gentle gathering of the pit of the belly, that space below the belly button, gentle gathering, so that we can inhale and lift the front and back of the ribs at the same time to create some space out of the hips. And we keep the shoulders soft as we gaze forward with the chin slightly tucked towards the notch in the collarbone. Find the breath, dynamically reaching the fingertips towards the earth. You can think of this as a kneeling mountain pose. Same work. Breathing into the heart space with support. Nice. With your inhale, float the arms overhead, maybe out to the side and up overhead. With your exhale, float the palms to the heart center. 2 more rounds like this, out to the side and up. Honoring your body, allowing the shoulder blades to slide up and down the back, not forcing anything, finding that rhythm and pausing with the fingertips extended to the earth. And then we'll inhale the arms in front of you and overhead without being careful not to let the front ribs pop forward. Exhale, float the palms together to the heart center. and extending to the earth. Inhaling straight up. Maybe in a Y is more straight up for you. Exhale or feels better. Palms to heart center last time. Inhaling, arms float up, resting in the sockets. Exhale, palms together to heart center and fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. I hope you all have a block nearby. Sorry, I didn't say that along with the chair. Now, if you could take your block and place it just in front of you in the center on the lowest height, or a pillow will work, or a rolled up blanket, whatever you have nearby. Nice. So maybe you want to look at the video for a second so you don't have to effort once we start. Let me take off my glasses. Nice. So we're coming into thread the needle, if some of you know what that is, but a supported thread the needle. This is core work. Normally thread the needle is resting on the shoulder and it's about opening up the shoulder, but this is going to be a flow to work the muscles front and back. So we're standing on our knees. We're inhaling the right arm alongside the ear. Exhaling, floating forward, both hands to the earth. Inhaling, right arm straight out. Exhaling, floating that right arm out to the side, letting the head turn and rest on the block. The left hand is still supporting you. Inhaling, reaching out to the side. Exhaling, right hand down. Inhaling there. Sorry. Exhale, float the hips back. Inhaling all the way up to stand. Both arms extend. Exhale, heart center. Shake it out. Let it go. I'll model the other side in case you want to watch it one more time, and then we'll start the flow. So I'm inhaling and extending that left arm up, reaching through the side. Exhaling, hips, creases, reach back. Both hands plant on the earth, slow and controlled. Nice. Weight is in the right hand to inhale the left arm straight off the shoulder. And exhale, slide it in back of the right wrist. Let the head rest on the block. Still, you're supported with that right hand. Exploring this twist. Exhale, the belly gathers, press into the right palm. Inhale, reach the left arm out. Exhale, float it to the earth. Inhale there, soften the shoulders. Exhale, hip creases, reach back. Inhale, float all the way up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Shake out the wrists, roll them out, roll through the shoulders. Let's see how this goes. So the shoulder isn't coming to the earth. You're resting gently on the head, twisting to the side. This is core work. So your hips, so that you can float down with control against gravity, right? If this doesn't feel good, please don't force it. Only come down as far as you feel comfortable. You can hover a bit above the earth and still reach the hand and extend it out, right? It can look like this. Nice. Let's try. Soften the shoulders, up, back, and down. Let's start with inhaling both hands straight up to the ceiling, floating the palms together as we exhale them to the heart center. Inhaling, right arm extends, lengthen through that side. Exhale, bow forward, both hands float to the earth. Slow, controlled movement. Inhale, right arm straight out to the side in line with the collarbone. Exhale, reach palm up, slide it in back of that wrist, left wrist.
Right cheek, head resting on the block. Yes. So right hand is off to the left, right cheek resting. Soften through the shoulders. Support the lower back with the pit of the belly. Exhale. Inhale. Press into the left hand. Reach the right hand out. Exhale. Float it down to the mat. Inhale there. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale. Press back, extending hip creases to heels. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, heart center. Shake it out. Pause between sides. Find the breath. You've got this. Inhaling, left arm extends alongside the ear, lengthening through that side. Exhale, hinge forward from the hip creases. Hands land softly on the mat. Inhale, left arm out to the side, rooting into the right. Exhale, left hand floats in back of the right wrist. The head rests on the block. Breathe here. Soften where you need to soften. Explore the back body. Exhale, gather the belly, root the right hand. Inhale, reach that left arm straight out. Exhale, float it to the earth. Inhale there, find your tabletop. Exhale, hip creases reach back to the heels. Inhale, float up. Exhale, heart center. Let the arms extend to either side of the hips, palms open. Mountain pose on your knees. Find the breath. Smooth it out. Breathe. Soften. Nice. Maybe roll through the shoulders a couple of times. And then using a chair or blocks, we're going to come to stand. So what it suits you and your body. So that we have either blocks under our hands or our hands are up on the chair. So we have space to exhale one foot or the other in front of us. To curl the toes under the back leg so that we can step that foot forward and inhale all the way up to stand. Pause here, roll through the shoulders. Nice. Let me just find my place here. Okay, let's explore Warrior Two. So how many times have you done Warrior Two, right? No big deal. Let's explore it a different way. Stepping to the side, long side of your mat, and walk the feet nice and wide. And then rotate the right foot to the top of the mat. Soften the shoulders down the back. Root into the feet, activate the legs. Whatever that means for you, so that you feel the soles of the feet resting on the earth. We say rooting. Does that make you work too hard? Is resting more accessible for you without gripping with the toes? Nice. With your inhale, extend, reach through the fingers. With your exhale, bending into that right knee. The hips settle straight down between the legs, so the spine's still stacked. And then we're going to cross the right arm over the left and flex at the wrists, so the palms face out. So not crossing the elbows,
but just forearms, soften through the shoulders. Nice. This is a mudra, and you might envision like pressing through the palms or energy out of your palms as if you were keeping out the bad, like an energy field around you. So there's enough negative energy around us these days, and maybe we can create an energy shield, knowing that we control our lives and we can let in what suits us. With your inhale, allow the arms to extend back into your warrior two. Exhale, soften there. Inhale, straighten the leg, extend the arms straight up. Inhale, float into your warrior. Exhale, cross the hands, press through the palms. Nice. Inhale, float into your warrior. Gazing over that right hand. Exhale, you're softening there. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, float it down into that mudra. Nice. Inhale, press through the palms. So flex at the wrists instead of straight fingers. Pause there. Exhale, float the arms down, straighten that knee. Heel toe, walk the feet together. Shake it out, let it go. Land in your Tadasana. Take a few rounds of breath here. Roll through the shoulders. Gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale to center. Gaze over the left. Let go of any efforting in the neck and the jaw. And then land in the soles of the feet. Root into the circumference of the heels. And inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. 2 more rounds of breath in your mountain pose. And then walking the feet wide again. Wide is relative to how you feel today. And pivoting the left foot to point to the back of the mat. Inhale, extending through the fingertips. Exhaling, settling the hips between the legs, spine still stacked. Soles of the feet resting on the earth, legs are active. Make sure that bent knee doesn't go past the ankle, just to keep you safe. Nice. Inhale, straighten that knee, float the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knee, press into the palms as now you cross left arm over right. Reverse it, right? Your left arm's on top. Breathe here. Root down, lengthen up. Integrity through the back body. With your next inhale, float the arms out. Exhale, soften. Inhale, straighten the knee, float the arms up. Exhale, cross left arm on top of right. Pause, soften. Inhale, find that warrior with palms flexed or fingertips towards the ceiling. Notice what you notice. Exhale, straighten the knee. Inhale, arms float up. Last time. Exhale, right, left over right. Pause here. Root down, lengthen up as if there were energy. There is energy coming out of the palms of your hands. Notice any sensation. Inhale, floating into your warrior. Last time. Exhale, hands float down, legs straightens, knee straightens, heel toe, mindfully walking the feet to step together to find your Tadasana. And then pause here, finding a gazing point or softly closing your eyes to connect with the breath. to smooth it out, to find where it lands in your body. Breathing into that open heart. Nice. Where is that other one? Okay. Shake it out, let it go. Everybody finding your block. And maybe it's distracting to watch the screen. So maybe you're turning in a different direction and finding a gazing point and placing the block on your head. Find a way that it balances on the crown of your head with the chin slightly dipped. And then you could extend into your mountain pose, softening through the shoulders, rooting down and lengthening up. Notice what you notice. The block's gonna wobble. If you don't have a block, you can take a small book, right? We don't want anyone to get hurt here. Breathe, soften. There's subtle movement always. If you need to keep one hand a little outside the block, please do that. So you can find the rooting down without locking the knees. Find the lengthening up and finding the breath in the heart space. Nice. So that we're lengthening up and rooting down. Soften through the jaw and the shoulders. Can you shift the weight over the right leg, slowly sliding the toes of the left foot to come to rest next to the right with the knee facing forward to start. Root down, lengthen up. Remember, the hand can stay just outside the block or on the block if you need to. Right? And we're rotating that left leg in the hip socket. Mindfully get your block as it bounces off your head, yes. Just bringing awareness to the lengthening up, knowing that there's always subtle movement. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're experimenting with both arms extending into goddess or straight arms, rooting down, lengthening up. Maybe you're experimenting with inhaling, left toe off the floor, exhale, touching it back down again. Notice what you notice. Be okay with it. Soften, let go of the efforting. Nice. As if you could reach that block to the ceiling, but still root down into the standing foot, leg. Nice. Exhale, float those hands down. Take the block off your head and shake it out and let it go. Breathe, soften. Sigh the breath out if it helps. Let's see if I'm supposed to remember anything else. Find your mountain pose. Let the block come to the top of your head again. Find a gazing point. Smooth out the breath. Allow the weight to shift over the left foot. Pause there to bend the right knee. Come onto the toes, the toe joints. To slide that foot over. Root down, lengthen up, soft shoulders. Maybe rotating that right knee out to the side, resting the heel against the ankle. And then experiment with this side. Your expression of tree, maybe staying in mountain, maybe the knee stays forward. What are you aware of? What shifts in the mind, body? What connections are you making? Is the breath getting stuck? What is the self-talk like? Let go of any judgments or expectations. Just allow yourself to be in the moment. Breathe, smile, soften the back of the neck and the shoulders and the jaw. Nice. Maybe extending the arms, maybe not. Inhale, exhale, root down. The knee comes forward, that right foot lands, the block comes off your head, and you shake it out and let it go. Take some hip circles, let the block come to the floor. Okay. Lost my. Okay. We're staying facing the long side of the mat again, if you're not there already. So a variation or a working vinyasa, which is just a flow in and out of goddess pose. So, you know, in goddess pose, maybe that the feet are angled out a little. It's different for everyone, so that when you exhale and settle the hips straight down and bend into the knees are over the ankles. And then we inhale and straighten without locking the knees. Maybe they're not as wide as you would normally have them, because we're going to flow in and out. Maybe you're able to inhale the arms into goddess arms or cactus, or stick them up, whatever you want to call it. Nice. Palms facing forward, palms facing each other. What do you notice, the subtle difference in this? Soften through the shoulders. Breathe into the heart space. With your exhale, settle the hips, bend into the knees. With your inhale, come up onto the right toe joints. Bring the body over. Nice. Exhale there, land in your goddess. Inhale, come on to left toes, hinge over to the right. Exhale, land. Flow from side to side. 2 more rounds like this. Experimenting, slow it down without collapsing into the side body. So try to keep length, not collapse down to the earth. Nice, and then float the arms down, take a break, straighten the knees, roll it out. Maybe that's where you'll stay. Maybe you'll walk the feet a little closer together and not come quite as low. But can you lift the toes, come over to the side, lift the foot? I don't know how he. Step it back down, come over. Come over to the side, bring it over, lift, step it down, come over. It's an experiment. You're having fun with it. You're not efforting into the knees. You're moving with the breath. Takes a lot of core work, right? You're landing smoothly, maybe one more time each side. We started with the right, end with the left. Maybe it gets a little easier each time. Float the arms down, straighten through the knees, heel toe it together. Shake it out, let it go. What did you notice? What was the self-talk like? Was one side a little different than the other? Were you breathing? Were you moving with the breath and letting the breath guide you? Just noticing, not judging. What are the habits of your mind body? Land in your Tadasana and breathe into the heart space. We're supposed to add a pivot into that. That would have been really fun, but we'll leave it at that and go further the next time. Let's see. I think we're good. Let's step to the top of the mat.
before we come to the floor, let's take the chair. Place it on the mat, or just so it doesn't slide. If you have a carpet, then you don't have to worry about it. Seated pigeon, so we can work into those hips that we were just using. So we're rooted to the chair. Jim, you might want to sit on a folded blanket if your knees are higher than your hips. So we want the knees to be at the same level as the hips, so you might have to fold the blanket. So the feet rest flat on the floor, you're on the edge of the chair, there's space in back of you, so that you have to use the core muscles and have integrity to lengthen through the back body and soften the shoulders down the back. And then aware of the heart lengthening away from the belly without poking the front ribs out. Yeah, take what you need, let go of the rest, but there is a gentle curve in the lower back. And maybe if you rock from side to side, you can find the sitting bones and notice that they anchor you to the chair. And then find your center. Exhale there, inhale, as if that block were on the crown of your head and you're trying to extend it to the ceiling. Let the shoulders stay resting soft down the back and towards the center of the spine, and you're breathing into the space below the collarbone. Nice. Exhaling, the right knee bends. Maybe you interlace the fingers or clasp the back of the thigh, hug it in for a second, roll through the ankle, soften through the shoulders, and then cross that ankle over the thigh so that the foot comes to the outside of the thigh, not resting on the thigh. Ankles on the thigh. Find a comfortable way so the ankle bone isn't digging into you. And then that right knee softens towards the earth, but you're not pressing it. If you'd like to help it a little, you can press from where the thigh comes into the hip and press down that way. You can bring the thumb into the hip crease and the fingers on the outside of the hip and roll the muscle, the hip down. It's a subtle movement. Maybe you're feeling enough sensation just crossing the ankle over the thigh and softening or inviting the knee to come towards the earth. So it's a little active. Shoulders over hips, breathing here. Maybe you have super open hips and you're inhale and extending through the crown of the head and exhale, hinging forward without allowing any collapse of the front body. So if you took the palm of your hand and you placed it between your belly button and your lower ribs, as you exhale and hinge forward, there's no wrinkling or collapsing into the palm of your hand. Breathing into that right hip. Shoulder blades are together, open across the collarbone, soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone, long back of the neck. Nice. With your next exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, help that right foot to the floor. Shake it out. Nice. Find the sitting bones. Lengthen towards the sky. Soften the shoulders. Exhale. The belly gathers so that you can draw that left knee in, give it a hug, move it around. Maybe this side already feels a little different. And then keeping that left foot flexed to protect the knee, we're crossing it over the right thigh so that the ankle bone comes outside. And then we're allowing that left knee to float towards the earth. You can feel the muscles at the hip becoming active to draw that knee down, but you're not pressing it. You're using your hand up the hip crease if you want to open it and encourage it to come deeper. No pressure on the knee. And if you're super open, you're drawing the shoulder blades together Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. The palm comes just below the last ribs and above the belly button. To exhale and keep that length coming forward with a straight back. Soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone. Breathe. Always important not to compress the front body when you're sitting, right? More of a risk for vertebral fractures. We want to keep this awareness throughout our everyday lives. Keep a strong, long, straight back with all its natural curve. One more breath in, releasing breath out. Inhale all the way up, exhale, belly gathers, and we help that foot back down and we shake it out and let it go. Let it go. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Hope you have blocks nearby. If you're bending forward, bend from the hip creases. Keep that heart space long to get your blocks. Maybe 2 blocks. You'll have to see maybe only 1. Twist on a chair. Lots of awareness to this front body, keeping the heart away from the belly. Soft shoulders, lengthening up. We'll start on the left side first, bending that left knee. Oh, the left knee stays bent, the foot comes on top of the blocks. Yes, the knee is higher than the hip now, right? We're on the edge of the chair, and we can extend into that right leg, flexing the foot. Inhaling, exhaling, find integrity in the pose. Maybe you're staying right here. Breathing into this. Maybe the left hand floats in back of you. Fingertips to the back of the chair, palm of the hand. What works for you? Maybe even a soft fist or coming onto the knuckles so that you can use that left arm to root into the chair and inhale, find that lengthening. Nice. With your next inhale, the right arm extends alongside the ear. With your exhale, it floats to the left knee. Maybe the heart starts to float towards the left. Soften the shoulders. Gaze forward so that you know you're not efforting into the neck. So that you know the twist is coming from the waist up. So that the belly and the heart start floating towards the left. Inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, the heart floats to the left. You're not efforting to pull yourself around, landing wherever you land. Breathing into this twist. Right foot stays flexed, left foot on the blocks. Nice. With your next inhale, float it back to center, slide that right foot in, let the left foot come back to the floor, shake it out, let it go. Blocks move to under the right foot. 1 or 2, doesn't matter what feels good for you. You can experiment with both. Extending into the left leg, the foot is flexed. Inhale there, exhale, the right hand reaches towards the back of the chair. So now you have an opening across the collarbone. So the shoulder blade is on the center of the back, and we use that right hand to root into the chair without locking the elbow to support even more length through the back body. Sorry, with your inhale, the left arm extends. With your exhale, we float it to the top of the knee so that the heart starts to float in the direction to the right. Inhale, lengthening, finding space between the vertebrae so that you can exhale,
and come into a gentle twist. Maybe gazing forward to be sure that you're not efforting into the neck or the jaw, to know that the twist is coming from the core muscles, the muscles that wrap around the ribs from the waist up. How does your lower back feel? Notice, soften, allow for some subtle movement in the hips. Breathe into this space. And then you can softly gaze over the shoulder if that feels right for you. Maybe that right hand has some space to walk further around to the left. Maybe not. Always the heart lengthening out, aware of the lower back. Please come out of the twist if this is too much. With your inhale, gaze forward. Bring your shoulders to stack, slide the right foot in, let the left foot come back down to the floor, roll through the shoulders, big circles, get some movement in the hips. Nice. Inhale, the arms extend up overhead, maybe reaching through the left hand and then the right. Knowing that the lengthening comes through the ribs from armpit to hip, not efforting in the shoulders. Nice. Finding stillness and floating those arms down and roll through the shoulders. One more time. Nice. So feet planted, they walk back in back of the knees so that we can inhale, lengthen. Exhale, root down to come up to stand, just so we can get these chairs out of the way. Maybe you're going to use them to come back down to the floor so they come to the top of your mat. Place a block within reach so that when you come to the floor, you can easily get your block when you're lying on the floor. Nice. So we're standing, coming to stand at the top of the mat. Rooting into the feet, rooting into the circumference of the heels, and inhale, lengthening up, and exhale, swan dive forward, folding at the hips and the knees. Inhale there, exhale, we let one knee and then the other float to the earth. Maybe walking the feet a little up to the chair, sitting onto the heels if that feels good, to pause in this supported child pose. One arm crosses on the next. And with your exhale, we release the tailbone towards the earth. We soften the shoulders away from the ears. And breathe into the back body. You can always have a block under your hips and sit on it. That feels right. Walk the knees wider. What works for you? 2 more rounds of breath here. Always child pose in the most common poses available to you. Your practice, your body, your house. Find a way to come into this. Nice. And then inhale yourself to sit up. Let the hips come to one side and the knees to the other. Let the feet walk in front of you. And if you already know that your spine resting, your back resting on the floor, that you don't have enough padding, you can always take a blanket so that you can lie back and your spine is supported on the blanket. For one more flow. Okay. Taking the block between your hands, just holding it securely there so you can let the thumb and the pinky finger come around it. Sometimes I say just palms pressing. This isn't work for the arms or hands. It's going to be a little bit of core work. We'll just do it a few times and then maybe I'll do a pop-up class this week and we'll do a little more experimenting with this. Knees are bent, feet on the floor.
And the block is between your hands, and we inhale them overhead. Elbows are soft, shoulders are soft. With your next exhale, come up and let the block float to the outside of the thighs. Inhale, block overhead. Exhale, lock arms, come to the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, overhead, land your head. Exhale, up to center, let the knees open, reach the block without efforting, without collapse. Inhale, land overhead. So now you're going to modify to make this accessible for your body, your practice. This is core work. We're not letting the ribs pop up to the ceiling, but we're not forcing the lower back to the earth either. We're engaging the core muscles so that we could inhale there, exhale, hug it in, lift up, float the arms to the side. Inhale, bring them up to the ceiling or overhead. Exhale, heart lifts up. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, knees open so that you can reach the block between them. Hug the pit of the belly in. Inhale. Your choice, rest here or flow through it one more time, side to side and center with the breath, without crushing or collapsing the front body, without efforting, just engaging and working those muscles. And then when you're done with that last round, let the feet float out to the sides of the mat and the knees fall together. Release the block. Let the arms float to either side of the hips. Pause there with the breath. Smooth it out. Notice what you notice. Without judgment. What happens when you're challenging the body? What is the self-talk like? Just noticing the habits of the mind. What we do on our mats is often what we do off our mats. With awareness comes a little change. If this blanket is still under your back and it's not necessary for Shavasana, please remove it. And with your next inhale, let the arms extend up overhead. Let the knees float back over the ankles, and the feet walk back to hips distance. With your next exhale, let one knee and then the other come in towards the chest, and maybe give them a gentle hug. Maybe rock from side to side. Soften through the shoulders and the jaw. Take those knees in some circles maybe. And reverse the circles if that feels good for you. Nice. And then let the feet float to the floor. And then complete your practice with what feels good for you or whatever you think would complete it for you. Maybe coming into a few rolling bridges or supported bridge with a block under the sacrum, not the lower back, but the hips. Taking legs up the wall or not. Maybe resting with knees bent, feet wide. What do you need to complete your practice? Taking 4 more rounds of breath to complete your practice.
And then we'll take a final spinal twist. Setting yourself up for a spinal twist, any twist that suits you. I'll guide you to stacked knees. So we're exhaling both knees over the hips and letting one knee and then the other float out to the side. Maybe your block is handy and you can place them between the knees. Maybe the arms extend out in T or something like that. Maybe you turn to gaze towards your fingertips of opposite the knees for a total spinal twist. Resting here, softening, releasing to find length through the side body to allow the breath to fill that space. With your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, one knee and then the other comes up to center and floats over to the other side. Maybe the side's a little different. Maybe you need more or less of a prop. Maybe the prop comes closer to the hips, maybe further out to the knees. Opening, extending the arms out in T if that feels good for you as you soften the shoulders, rest flat on the earth. The breath moves into that space and maybe you turn to gaze to the fingertips opposite the knees. Soften where you can. Aware of the breath and your natural rhythm. Smoothing it out and softening. And inhaling to gaze to the ceiling and exhaling one knee and then the other comes back up to center. Maybe a final hug or a rock or happy baby. And then settling into Shavasana. Propping maybe a rolled up blanket under your knees, a pillow under your head, covering up if you tend to get cool. To come to our final pose of Shavasana or corpse pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Using those exhales to allow the muscles to soften and release their grip from the bones. To allow the body to become heavy into the earth beneath you. Resting on the earth, safe, secure, supported, nowhere to go, nothing to do. One breath following the next, with just a gentle pause between them. We acknowledge the thoughts as they tug at us. We honor them. We allow them to float away, just for now, resting in the breath, surrendering to the earth, breathing into the vast space that surrounds us. Mindful of the breath, of the body resting. Practicing yoga, joining the mind, the body, and the spirit back into balance. Mindfulness, a form of paying attention that is neither judging nor wishing things are different. Rather resting in an open heart and an open mind, seeking only to know what is true. An open heart, and then comes the open mind. Not missing the moment, not wishing it were something else. Following the breath from beginning to end. Your gentle rhythm, restoring the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth, becoming aware of the space surrounding you, gently deepening your inhales and exhales. And slowly bringing your body back from stillness, softly rubbing your thumbs against your fingertips, wiggling your toes, maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. With a deep awakening inhale, maybe extending the arms up overhead. And then softening them to a comfortable position as you bend one knee and then the other to step the feet softly onto the earth. Pausing here, feeling more awake and alert. With every inhale, relaxed and peaceful, ready to embrace the day ahead of you and whatever it brings. Resting in the moment. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Pausing here to breathe into the heart space. To breathe into the wings of the heart. To notice what your practice has given to you today. Bringing to mind the intention you started with and repeating it softly to yourself one more time. And then pressing into the earth as you keep the eyes softly closed, walking yourself up to a comfortable, easy, seated position. And maybe with your inhale, the arms extend one more time. And with your exhale, maybe coming into that mudra, crossing the arms in front of you, reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling. Aware of that energy field around you. And knowing that you have choices. And maybe you choose to not listen to the news today, to not go on social media, but listen to music or read a book or take a walk, bringing in the energy that restores you. Aware of the choices. And with your next inhale, allow the palms to float together to the heart center. And we lift our hearts and we bow our heads to honor that perfect light that shines in all of us and unites us. May our practice be continuous. May we bring yoga into every breath and step. May our hearts be steady for ourselves and for each other. And we dedicate our efforts to be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May they be happy. May all beings find their freedom. May they know peace. And may all beings walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me.
I will